Hello and welcome to the Tuesday Talk Show with me, your host, Yvonne Gorman. This is series 8 of the Tuesday Talk Show, episode 1, a brand new show, Tuesday Talk Show powered by my very own business, Essential Print Services. And we have a fantastic guest today, Martin Broadhurst. Hello, how are you?
Hello, I'm very good, thank you. Yeah, happy to be here on a very cold Tuesday morning. I am
It is cold
sat with
outside.
my
We're going to
thick
have some
socks on.
I hope you'll have some hot tips ready for our audience later on, Martin. Like I said, Tuesday Talk Show has been going for a little while now, so anyone who wants to look at previous episodes, they're all available on the Tuesday Talk Show YouTube channel. And as always, we are live. This is live. So if you're watching this live, you'd like to send some questions, please do so. I'm up to give you a shout out on the show. But enough about that. I'm going to go over to Martin now. So Martin, tell everyone who you are, a little bit about your business, please.
Yep, so Martin Broadhurst, as you've been introduced. Yeah, based in Derby. I'm a sales and marketing technology consultant. So really helping businesses from solo entrepreneurs right the way through to large enterprise to identify and implement the best sales and marketing technologies. So CRM, marketing automation, email marketing, sales automation. More recently, doing quite a lot in the artificial intelligence space. So helping businesses implement some marketing AI software. So that's software that can help you kind of execute and implement search engine optimization better, right the way through to, if you've been paying attention to the news recently, you might have heard about technologies like ChatGPT. Which is kind of taking over the technology scene.
I have used it. I have used it to help me sort of write a couple of blogs. I don't know about anyone else, but when I get time to write a blog, sometimes I think, what the hell am I going to write about? So just putting a question in the chat box and it coming back with a couple of answers, it just spurs me on to write more and to adjust it to my tone of voice. But yeah, very, very clever, scary stuff. So Martin, why should we listen to you? What makes you the expert in all these things?
Oh, why should you listen to me? Yeah. I mean, you don't have to. No one's forcing you to. No. So why should you? Well, I've been doing this for a while now. So I started out doing digital marketing consultancy in 2010. In 2012, I set up one of the first HubSpot agencies in the UK. So we became a HubSpot reseller, reached gold partner status, and then just worked with many companies across a range of different industries, implementing inbound marketing techniques and implementing HubSpot as a CRM and as a kind of technology stack. So I've got a lot of practical hands-on experience. It's what I've been doing for 12, 13 years now. And I'm mad passionate about this. So I teach digital marketing as well. I'm a Chartered Institute of Marketing lecturer, teaching level 4 and level 6, specifically on digital customer experience and what's the other one I do? Digital optimization. So yeah, lots of kind of practical and theoretical experience. It's something that I'm very lucky in the sense that I don't consider my job to be work, because I love what I do every day.
Utopia moment when you love what you do. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't describe every day as a utopia, but yes, yeah. When you find yourself sitting there reading blogs and articles about your industry, not because it's work, but because you're genuinely interested in what's happening, then I think you're in a lucky spot. And that's where I am. And I love working with businesses to help them kind of crack those challenges that they've got about growth. Ultimately, sales and marketing is about growth, whether that's new customer acquisition or customer retention and growing customer accounts. Either side of that challenge, I love working with businesses to kind of go, okay, well, what aren't you doing and what can we do better?
Which leads us seamlessly, Martin, into, okay, give us some top tips. As small business owners, we are so busy. And when we do have the time and the energy and the brain space to think, right, I'm going to look at my social media and my digital marketing. What should people be looking for? Are there any sort of quick things that people can do or check on that would make a big difference to their business?
Yeah, so it really depends on the stage where you're at in your business and your business life cycle. But like day one, and for every business out there, a key thing that I think you should be looking at is what does your business look like on Google? Now, I'm not just talking about when people go online and search for your kind of industry keyword, for instance, window cleaner. Do you pop up as a window cleaner in your area? Like, that's search engine optimization. But does your business have a presence on something like Google My Business? So for those of you who are watching that don't know, Google My Business is kind of Google's business profile space. It's almost like their yellow pages for your business. So you can list your website address, your opening hours, you can put pictures on there. That's where all of your business reviews will go. And it places you on a map when people are searching on Google Maps. So it really does extend your business's reach far beyond your website. And I think it's one of the areas that lots of small businesses overlook. You know, they'll have a Twitter account, they'll have a LinkedIn account, they'll create a Facebook page, but Google My Business does so much more than just a kind of social media network. So make sure that profile is set up. And second to that is make sure you are asking your clients for reviews. You'll find that in the Google My Business section, there is you can, when you're editing your profile, you'll be able to capture and copy and paste a link to request reviews.
Yes, you can. Yes.
So take that link and put it in an email and save that email as a draft. And just write a simple email saying, I hope you've enjoyed working with me. Please, would you consider leaving me a review? It helps me as a small business. Because one of the things that we find is that, and this is really consistent across industry, if you don't ask, you don't get when it comes to reviews. Your reviews will skyrocket. If you just have a good experience with a customer and you send them a review request. Most people are really happy to do it. It takes them a couple of minutes to do. They only need to leave a star review and a couple of sentences. It makes a world of difference.
It really, really does, Martin. I'm definitely an advocate of that. It's part of the sort of our task management process. Right at the end, it's scheduled for a few days after the customer received their print orders. Send them a nice templated email with the link on there. Can you give us a review? It doesn't have to be war and peace, just a few moments of your time to let us know how we get on. And now we have more Google reviews than some of the main online UK print people, which I'm sure annoys the hell out of them, because there's my little old business in Derby got these hundreds of reviews compared to them. So yeah, I sort of gamify it a little bit. I make sure every now and again I do a bit of a splurge on getting reviews in to make sure we stay ahead of the game. But you mentioned there, which I've made a note of, Martin, it's quite interesting. You said that Google My Business potentially has a far larger reach than your own website.
Well, just in terms of visibility. So if you think about the ways that people are going to see that, and I've got one particular example of where this kind of springs to mind, but people searching for something in Google, particularly if you're a local business, if you're serving a local area, if you're serving national, or if you're an online business, this applies less so. But if people are searching for, let's take the example of window cleaner, just because
you love window cleaners.
Just because I mentioned it a moment ago, and it was up front of
your alter ego, Martin, is being a window cleaner.
It's my side hustle. If that's what people are looking for, that map that appears with all of those listings down the side is an impression, right? It's another element of reach, and it's a place for people to see your business name, the number of reviews, your opening hours, your contact details, the directions to find you. All of that kind of stuff will have an impression. Now, one of the things that really made me kind of aware of the reach of Google Maps, because ultimately Google My Business doesn't just display your business on Google on Google search results. It's Google Maps as well. So you get this kind of twin reach in search. But I post a couple of years ago, I went through a stint. It was a bit of a hobby of just reviewing everything, like Google Maps. I would, if I went to a park, I would find the park on Google Maps, take a photo, leave a 2-sentence review. Pubs, restaurants, bars, you name it.
You name it, it got reviewed.
Honestly, if I engaged with it and it was a place, I was leaving reviews. And one of the things I noticed was so I live in Five Lamps in Derby, and just around the corner from me was a Chinese takeaway. And I walked past it one day, and I just took a photo of it from the outside. Now, this photo looks almost identical to the photo that you see on Google Maps and Google Street View for this takeaway. But I took a photo of it and uploaded it to the venue. It's my local Chinese, so I left a review as well. That photo now has had, I think it's like over 1 million views. Right, because it's a ridiculous amount, and it just went to show me, like, and all of these views are just appearing on Google Maps. Right now, I think the takeaway is called Lucky House. So I think it's the fact that if anyone searches for the word house in Google Maps, I think what's happening is that the takeaway is appearing as one of the options, and my picture is in.
Well, I hope you're having free takeaways for the rest of your life.
You would hope so, wouldn't you? But
yeah,
I mean, it demonstrated the absolute potential mammoth reach of Google Maps, and having a good, well optimized profile and posting on there regularly. I think we were talking about it just before we came on air, and you were saying yourself about how you use it to distribute content.
Yeah, absolutely. Always updating. It's part of, if I think about posting on the usual suspects like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, it's Instagram, it's part of that mix. I've even got a little mind map to the left of me where I sort of, if I get stuck of where to post and what, I can look at the map and go, right, that is the route that I need to take, which really helps me. Technical question then. Google My Business, and I will just point out to people watching us either live or on catch up on the Tuesday Talk Show YouTube channel that we're not being paid by Google here. We're talking a lot about Google. We're not being paid by Google at all to mention it, but I just think it's such a powerful tool that is completely free of charge and make a huge difference. Do you have to have a website to have a Google My Business profile?
No, you don't. You don't at all. And actually, I would, when going through that process of creating a Google My Business profile, if you don't have a website, it kind of offers you the chance to make a little Google website.
It does, yes. It does. And I was a bit apprehensive of going past that stage when I was updating it. I thought, am I going to mess up my own website here by
well, if you've already got a website, it's not necessary. But if you don't have a website and you want something that's basic, that kind of shares a few photos of your projects, and maybe you get some customer testimonials and a listing page of your services, it's a really cheap, easy way to give yourself a web presence. Just on the point about only mentioning Google as well, Apple Maps are launching their own business directory as well. Yeah, so this is something that's coming to the fore soon as well. So Bing Maps, Bing Business has this as well. So let's not only talk about Google.
Good old Bing. We are flying through time as we always do on the Tuesday Talk Show, and I really want to get onto the topic of what help is available, especially to small businesses, Martin. So as we know, times are tough with the energy crisis, especially for small businesses at the minute. Employing people is really hard to find, and then you've got the cost of that as well. So what help is available? And as I mentioned when we were off air, I know myself, so busy doing the day-to-day stuff that when I do have the time to sort of think, right, I need some help with something, or what help is available out there I can take advantage of, where the hell do you look? What is available to a small business?
So yeah, that is the topic of the day. And so a bit of context for people that aren't aware, and I didn't mention this in the introduction, I'm a digital consultant delivering on behalf of the D2N2 Growth Hub and the Leicester Growth Hub Business Gateway, as it's known, and that's all delivered through the East Midlands Chamber of Commerce. So that's one of the programs there are a couple of the programs that I work on. Now, through these programs, there is a bunch of support available to SMEs. That's up to 250 employees in the business, and so lots of businesses are eligible for that. And there's loads of support opportunities, ranging from events. So this could be a kind of 1 hour online webinar where you can learn what's new in email marketing, for instance, through to 2-day workshops where you are in you go to a venue and you've got 2 days, maybe back to back or a week apart, of action planning, really. And so learning what the right thing is to do for a particular strategy, whether it's social media strategy, customer relationship management, might be search engine optimization, and then you can go away and implement that within your business. So that events program is delivered through East Midlands Chamber of Commerce website is where you'll find all of the information about this. So that's if you want to take a note, it's emc-dnl.co.uk, and if you go to emc-dnl.co.uk/events, you'll find all of these events listed on there.
And they've had a brand new website, haven't they, East Midlands Chamber?
They have.
Very posh indeed.
Yeah, so all of the events are listed on there, and that's for Derbyshire, or D2N2, Derby, Derbyshire, Nottingham, Nottinghamshire, as well as the Business Gateway events, which is Leicester and Leicestershire. So that's the kind of main events program, and they cover, just to be totally clear on that, that's paid advertising, search engine optimization, websites, social media, and then email marketing, marketing automation, and CRM, which is the subject that or the topic area that I cover. There's also some funded consultancy available. So through these programs, if you've already engaged with those programs, so maybe you're already registered with the Growth Hub, you might be eligible to kind of top up your support. So let's say you've been to a workshop that classifies you as having 6 hours of support. So you might be eligible for an additional bit of one-to-one support. So you could get support from me directly to help your business up to a maximum of 12 hours. Now, there's eligibility criteria.
12 hours with Mr. Broadhurst. Lucky devils, hey?
You'll be sick of me by the end of it.
So I looked into this, didn't I, Martin? And turns out that I'm part of a peer-to-peer network that's used up all my tokens. So I can't have those 12 hours with you, which is such a shame.
Yeah, there is. And that's the thing. Like, if you've already had support through the programs, through something like the peer network, then it does rule out the eligibility. So there are some criteria involved. But if you do want some one-to-one consultancy, that's something that we can explore. And it might be that the best option for a business is to have some action planning workshops followed on by some one-to-one support. I should also say as well, depending on the business that we're dealing with, depending on the size and the scale, if it's a slightly larger business, so it's in what's called the scale-up phase, typical criteria for that is minimum £100,000 turnover, or based on the number of employees, so around 5 employees.
5, isn't it? Yeah, it's 5 or more. Yeah.
Yeah, you can. You're eligible for the Digital Upscaler program. So Digital Upscaler also has a series of workshops that you can attend, and as well as that, they then have funded consultancy. So you can scope out a project. It's not hours based. They give you a budget, and it might be £500, it might be £1,000, but they give you a budget to go and find some consultancy support. And then after that, you might even be eligible for some grant funding as well. Now, the grant funding can be used for hardware implementation. It might be implementation of a strategy. The whole project needs scoping out, but the grant funding typically covers, I believe it's somewhere in the region of 25 to 30% of the total project. So there's quite a bit of funding and support available for businesses, but as you started off by saying, it's really knowing where to look.
Yeah, if you're not part of a network like we are, I'm not part of sort of groups that talk about this on a regular basis, it can be quite daunting just to knock on, say, the East Midlands Chamber's door, and say, I feel like I need some help in my business, but I don't actually know where to start, where to look. It can be quite daunting, can't it?
Very much so. And I think when people hear things like the East Midlands Chamber of Commerce, they think, oh, do I need to be a member? They look on
Yeah.
the website, they think, oh, there's a membership fee. I've got to pay every year. I don't know whether it's right for me. In these particular projects, so the D2N2 Growth Hub project and the Business Gateway Leicestershire project, you don't have to be a member of anything. You just have to be a business that is trading in Leicester, Leicestershire, Derby, Derbyshire, Nottingham, Nottinghamshire. So you can either go straight to the Growth Hub themselves. So if you go to the D2N2 Growth Hub website, and you can look for some support there, because there's a bunch of other support that they offer outside of what I've spoken about as well. So the Growth Hub really is the first port of call for businesses looking for support, because outside of just the digital marketing activity that I've spoken about today, they also do lots of events and consultancy for HR, for sales, for marketing that is non-digital related, for leadership and management. There's lots of things that you can
And
get
they
help
host
with.
networking events as well. If you want to see people, if you're thinking, do you know what, I need some help because I'm working from home a lot. I don't see very many people. I just need to go out there and interact with some other business humans. They do host a number of face-to-face networking meetings as well, which again can be absolutely invaluable to a business.
Yeah, no, very much so. So they're the resources that I would point people towards, because I think there's a lot that people can tap into. And we're about to see a shift in the way that a lot of business support is delivered as we've left the European Union. And that means that the previous funding streams that we used to have through the European Regional Development Fund, ERDF, they're coming to an end. And what we're seeing now is a shift towards a new funding stream called the UK Shared Prosperity Fund. And the way that that's delivered is slightly different, but ultimately there is still going to be support from government funded. What that looks like is just going to change over the next couple of years.
Fantastic. Well, I think that is a great way there to sort of wrap up. My takeaway from that, Martin, is that if you're needing help with your sales or your digital marketing and just think, what on earth is Google My Business, is to look on the East Midlands Chamber website and or the Growth Hub websites and to see what those workshops and seminars are available to you. And don't be afraid to go along to some of these things, because I know myself from attended these workshops years and years ago. I've had some fantastic customers from it as well, because you're there with people who were also there needing help, and you learn, you might pick up a new contact, a new friend, a new business associate. It's a win-win situation, and most of the time they're free. Amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely amazing. Is there anywhere, Martin, where we can see, sort of in my terms, how many tokens we've used? Because I had a situation recently whereby I was part of a group, and because I'd attended their face-to-face meetings, when it came round to wanting some mentoring from this organisation, said, sorry, you've used up all your tokens by attending the networking event. And I didn't realise that's what I was doing.
Yeah, that counted towards it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the best way is to speak to the growth hubs themselves, and they'll have a record of that.
Okay, I will definitely do that. Well, that's been an absolutely fantastic half an hour of our time, and hopefully people at home or in the office watching this live or on catch up have taken away some really good nuggets of knowledge. So that's episode 1 of series 8, almost in the bag. Like I said, if you've liked today's episode, please give us a like, give us a share. We've been live on LinkedIn for the first time as well, so see how that goes. It's very exciting. Also on the Facebook group, Small Businesses Unite, which has over 1,000 members. If you're not a member of that already, hop on over to there and join us. And also on, of course, on the Tuesday Talk Show YouTube channel. And also give us a like and a share from there as well. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you. So I hope you've enjoyed today's session, which I'm going to go back over to Martin now for our final thoughts. So Martin, over to you.
Yeah, so in conclusion, yeah, there's lots of support out there for businesses in terms of through the Growth Hub, whether that's funded events, funded consultancy. So lean into that and tap into those resources. But one key takeaway I would say in terms of digital marketing and the future, let's be really forward looking here, and let's pull it back to the topic of artificial intelligence, because it's a little well, it's my favorite topic of the moment. If you haven't yet looked at Chat GPT, I would highly recommend visiting chat.openai.com and having a play with it. This is artificial intelligence delivered in a way that is like using WhatsApp, and you chat back and forth with AI. This technology is rolling out to businesses big and small. As we speak, Microsoft have just announced that they'll be making it available to their customers very soon. This is going to change the way that we all do business, whether it's about how we plan and write blogs and social media, to what I use it for recently, which was summarizing the conversation that I'd had following a sales call with a prospective client. I used it to transcribe the call, and then I used it to summarize it for my notes in the CRM. A job that would have previously taken me 10 or 15 minutes was taking me 20 seconds. These things are going to change the way that we work, change the way that we create, change the way that we change our workflows. And if you're not yet using them within your business, check them out. They can make you very, very efficient, and yeah, it's gonna be a real game changer.
It is, and I've actually had a play with it myself, and it is astonishingly good, scarily good. So yeah, just have, like I say, have a play around with it and see how it can help your business. Martin, thank you so much for your time. It's been a Tuesday Talk Show, as always, powered by my very own business, Essential Print Services, based on Pride Park in Derby. Martin, thank you so much. Where can we find you if we want to get hold of you?
So you can visit my website, www.broadhurst.digital, or you can find me on Twitter at mpbroadhurst, or you can find me on LinkedIn, martinbroadhurst.frsa. Just one more thing that I forgot to mention in conclusion. There is a conference coming up for small businesses in the region. It's a free conference delivered through the Digital Upscaler. It's at Pride Park Stadium. Coming up 17th of, let me just double check that date, 17th of March. So it's a digital marketing conference. It's a one-day event. I'd highly recommend coming along. I'll be there speaking with some other consultants, and we've got the keynote speaker is just being finalized as we speak. Some great topics being covered. There's going to be some exhibitors as well. I think there's going to be 25 or 30 exhibitors there as well. So please do come along. If you're interested in registering for that, please just either drop me a message on LinkedIn. That I would tell you to go to the sign up page, but the sign up page isn't live yet. So if you're interested, drop me a message on LinkedIn, and I'll make sure to add you to the list to get you notified when the registration page is live.
That sounds awesome. I've got no excuse not to attend that event. It's round the corner. Again, thank you so much, Martin. It's been absolutely terrific to catch up with you and to share your knowledge this morning. So let's say goodbye to everybody. Bye, everybody. Bye.